Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It is a pleasure to welcome each and every one of you here back into Chateau del Nick in Boudoir de la Brown for another evening of Thursday night spirituality, spiritualism, and communication with the world of spirit itself. It's a pleasure to welcome each and every one of you here every Thursday night. And of course, tonight is no exception. For tonight, we have a very good friend joining us tonight as our medium, more from her in a moment. And of course, we've got our usual uplifting evening of spirituality. We have a word or three from Reverend Lynn. We have a reading from Reverend Alan. And of course, no evening would be complete without Hannah, Samantha, and Henry, and of course their able-bodied assistant, his good self, Mr. Bully. So it is a pleasure, as always, as I said, to have everyone here. We will, of course, be having our healing, and of course, we will be having some notices as well. I want to just one last time reiterate how grateful I am, myself and my family have been, for all of your support over the last few weeks. We did have a concordial and spiritual send-off for Dad yesterday, and of course we know that he was watching and taking the mick of everything that went wrong, which is exactly what he would expect and do. So once again, thank you all, God bless you all. And so now, my friends, it is on with the evening. And so without further delay, let us welcome. I took my teeth out earlier and I washed them. I can't do a thing with them. So if I slip over my words, ignore me. The glass is empty. It only had Pepsi in, no gin for me tonight. But let's welcome our medium as she puts her mug down. And so does Reverend Lynn, funnily enough. Good timing. It's Alison Arron-Stead. Hello, sweetie. How are you?
Hello, Nick. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. It is a pleasure to welcome you back tonight. How have you been, my love?
I've been okay, thank you. Yes.
Good. So you're ready for an uplifting night of spirit communication, I assume?
I am indeed, yes. And so
good. And now, of course, this is a notice for yourself and nobody else. Do stay on after the service because we need some speakings, and I'm sure that will become slightly more public at a later date. But I'm very excited and I think it's brilliant. So we'll have a chat afterwards about that. So stay tuned. That's all I'm saying. Stay tuned. So now is the time in our service, friends, when we welcome to our podium, or the screen, as I prefer to call it these days, a very good friend of mine also, and a very, very, very experienced lady of spiritual matters. Let us give a big welcome to the lovely Reverend Lynn.
Good evening, everybody. Wonderful to see you, Alison. And every blessing for tonight, I'm sure you'll bring your blessings, your gifts to help everybody. And it's wonderful to see you, Reverend Nick. And of course, our condolences, but also happy for your dad, because obviously, you know, he's over there enjoying himself now.
Yes.
Which is what we always have to remember as spiritualists. And sometimes I know that we get looked upon a bit strangely, because I can remember going to many funerals, some of which I've actually had to conduct, and feeling very jolly because I've seen the person, you know, whose body has just been buried or burned, you know. And sometimes they've even been trying to talk to me and tell me to say so-and-so to somebody who's bawling their eyes out in the congregation. And I'm saying, no, I can't do that. And like, I'm trying to sort of keep a straight face, and like, I've had all these things going on. So I do know that Mr. Brown is going to be having a fine old time up there, as we call it up there, but we know it's only a whisper away from us. So I'm very glad to see you, dear Nick. and thank you for inviting me this evening. And I was thinking about how we as spiritualists and mediums could actually help the wider community in this terrible time when you can't even go and see a loved one, or put your arms around anybody. It's just dreadful for everybody concerned. And I thought, well, all these sort of online services and communications that we get are wonderful at this time, although we have to sort of worry a bit about those who are not in contact, with computers and telephones and things. That is a worry, but however, what I learned early on in this way of life is you can't heal the whole world on your own. It's very difficult. You just have to do what you can, while you can. Now, I see that my screen has frozen there, but can you still hear me speaking?
We can still hear you, my love. You're fine.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know how they do that. That's rather good. Electronic voice phenomenon. There you are. You've got me. Although the image is stuck, so that's sort of spooky in itself. But however, we understand all these things now in the light of modern science. And of course, give it another few hundred years, and our spirit communication is going to be just every day. People are just going to accept that as a scientific fact. It's all going to be proved. At the moment, the only way we've got to prove it is through our own mediumship. However, whichever way we use that, or it's used by those operators in spirit. But in years and centuries to come, there will be proper communication between the two worlds, and it'll just be like, traveling backwards and forwards on the bus. It won't be a problem because people will understand the science behind it. We don't know the science behind it. We know it's scientific, but we don't know the actual, the methodologies. We don't know the X, Y, Z of it, as it were, the algebra of it. We do understand about the quantum theories, but theory is still a theory. It's like Darwin and his theories. People have to watch out for words. When you start talking about theory, you are actually talking about somebody's ideas, and sometimes they're a bit far-fetched, and that goes with, that's in the land of the unicorns and so on. But I was thinking, how are we as mediums going to help people in a very positive way? And one of the things I know that is very dreadful is that you don't get that contact. We give healing, absent healing, and it's wonderful and it works. We know this. Again, it's a science. But what we really need to look at is how we can actually reach out and, in a way, touch that next person who requires the healing. Well, what we've all been doing at the New Christian Spiritualist Society for a long time, Reverend Nick, as you know, is sort of putting our healing energies into objects like teddy bears, for instance, for children who are sick. And then after sort of praying with them in your hands and, feeling that warmth, that healing energy entering into that little object, you then get some cling film, another scientific wonder, and wrap it round so that you sort of trap that warmth within it, and then we send or give it to the afflicted child or person. Well, the other thing that I've been doing and that I advocate is following on from St. Paul, who would channel that healing power into what they called his aprons, pieces of cloth, handkerchiefs. And he would give those, or they would be sent to people, obviously not sent because there was no post office in Israel at the time. Anyway, if anyone's queued up at a post office or a doa, as they're called in Israel, good luck. You could. Well, when I was out there, you could wait an hour for a stamp. That's just the way it is. But yeah, so Paul, not bothering to wait for the post office to open, would send his runners, his helpers, along with these handkerchiefs, these aprons, to bestow this healing energy on the person who's afflicted. Now, I know that works. So what I'm suggesting tonight is that all those of you who are healing mediums, and don't forget, I believe strongly that healing is the very highest form of mediumship, the very highest form. Those of you who know that you are healers, who are able to channel that healing into somebody's spiritual essence, as the person before you, and knows also that, of course, absent healing is another thing. To actually avail yourselves some cloth, little squares or bigger squares if you like, or some little scarves, and actually ask for healing in just the same way as you would if you were giving healing directly to that person. Put that healing into that cloth, just as St. Paul did. Have your cling film close by, and when you know that that energy is in there, and that healing is in there, then take a strip of this cling film and wrap it, and then get an envelope and find a stamp and the address and name of the person who you've asked already for that, obviously. We're not that psychic, are we? It's bad enough when people say, why didn't they give me their name and address and telephone number when they came through from spirit? Well, I'm sorry. I mean, if you've moved from somewhere, just supposing, this is just to digress, but if you've moved away from a house and a street and an area, just down here on the earth plane, for instance, and you've been gone, say, 10 years from that address, would you remember the postcode? Or even maybe the telephone number? Or, if you've had a mobile phone that you've lost a long time ago, can you remember that phone number? Bet you can't. Well, so all these poor spirit people who come back and are expected, to actually give their name, address, rank, serial number and their phone number, and maybe their ID and all the rest of it through a medium, like, no. I think that we should be grateful for the information we do get, and even if they can just manage to give us the name that they were known by when they were down here, and a few odd facts, they might have dredged up from their memory, personal things, I think that is sufficient unto the day thereof. Anyway, I digress. So I suggest very much that all the healers who are having a listen to me now, because they're not seeing me other than this sort of ghastly image that's frozen in time now, and that I shall blame Reverend Nick for that. I don't think it's my fault this time. Of course it might be. I daren't touch this. I daren't touch this machine because everything would just go. I mean, we have enough problems. People don't know this, but behind the scenes, I'm now on this little laptop, as it's called. It's not on my lap at all. It's on my elephant table. And those of you who've been sitting in circle know the elephant table very well, because a lot of people have bumped into the elephants when they've got up and tried to leave the circle.
I still have scars.
So it's on the elephant table, you see. And I tried on the big computer, on the telephone and everything, and it just was not working. It would not work. And Reverend Nick said, well, it's all right. We'll just put a picture of you up and just listen to your voice. And I said to him, no, that's awful. I just won't come on, And he said, no, we'd like to hear you anyway. And blow me, look at this. What's happened? We have the picture. And pretty dreadful it is too. But you can hear me. So anyway, the thing is this, that the message is everything, isn't it? The words are everything. And what we look like is not important. And that's the other thing about spirits. We want to know what colour hair they had, what makeup they've got on, are they wearing particular earrings, bracelets, necklaces. When I was in Israel, funnily enough, I was giving a demo out there, and as we know, Jews are a talkative lot, me being amongst them. And I said to this woman, I've got your mother here, and she's wearing this lovely blah blah coat. And the woman, in fact, she wasn't satisfied. Oh, why is she wearing that colour coat? I got her one with a different colour, what, you know. And I said, just a minute. So I've had to say to this poor woman who'd come through wearing this particular coat, could you put another coat on, please? Because your daughter wants to see you in the coat that she bought you. Anyway, she did, fortunately. But can you imagine it? So the thing is this, that really it doesn't matter what we look like. It's what we're saying and how we act. And speaking of acts, if you go to the Bible and you go to Acts chapter 19, you will see all about how St. Paul put healing power into his aprons and kerchiefs and sent them. So please take your cue from him. And if you are a healing medium, please, what you can do is ask people on your Facebook page or whatever, obviously within reason, to send you a donation, obviously for the postage and packing, which you will need. You mustn't be out of pocket. And you can actually have a little healing session where you put in healing into these kerchiefs for people in particular. And they will be relieved of their pain, and they will get comfort from that, and they will really feel that they are being touched in some way by you as another human being, but more than anything, touched by spirit, touched by your spirit and the spirit that has come through you to their spirit. And that's what makes all the difference to people. So I strongly urge everyone who can do so, if it's possible for you to do so, to actually follow St. Paul's example and get some cloth and sit yourselves down somewhere quiet and put some healing into those cloths. And then all you've got to do is get some, have your envelopes and addresses and names ready and just slip them inside. And and Reverend Nick has got that, so he'll probably, if we could ask him, couldn't we? We could ask him to earn his crust, and he could read out to us when he throws me off the platform here. Acts 19. He could actually read us verses 3 and 4, which might be useful, and certainly verse 12, talking about that. So I'll leave those thoughts with you. And now you'll be able, Alison, to concentrate on what you're doing. And I know that you'll have a wonderful evening. We have such a wonderful family of spiritualists here. And of course now we have a huge congregation worldwide. And so I say God bless to everybody who's out there. I hope that the healers among you will take it on board, and that we'll get all these cloths flying around the world to people who are in need, and it will make them feel special. That they will feel special. They will get an envelope in the post addressed to them, and inside it they'll be able to take the healing cloth out of its little cling film package and place it on anywhere they're afflicted, if it be their head, anything, I'm glad you can't see me because I put my hand on my head and I immediately thought of the old song, Hands, Knees and Bumps a Daisy. So whatever ails you, you put, hands, knees and bumps a daisy. We won't mention, there are unmentionable parts that us healers would not be asked to lay our hands upon, that people suffer from, And of course it says in the Bible too, we dishonour our most honourable parts. Our orifices, which are so necessary to our life here on earth, we cover them and hide them and we don't talk about them. And if we have pains in them, whatever it is, we try and hide that away. And we certainly don't want some spiritual healer coming and say, well, just turn over then, Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, and I'll put my hands on your bottom, if that's, stuff like that. So, and for ladies, their front bottoms and things like that. But they can actually, by dint of receiving these healing cloths, it's not a joke. They can actually place those cloths on the places that ail them, regardless, in their privacy of their own homes. and feel relief and comfort and feel touched by somebody in particular. So I'll say God bless to you all, and in a way I suppose you should be relieved that you can't see me, although it's not a terribly flattering picture anyway, but then one wonders how flattering it can be once one gets past 70. So right, there you are. Oh, and Matthew. Hello, Matthew. Oh, bless you, Reverend Matthew. Don't wriggle out of it. We know you're a minister.
Absolutely.
And that's the other thing. We love to show our badges of ministry. As Reverend Nick said the other day, we wear our collars with pride, proper pride, because we do the work and people can stop us and buy one, literally. Like the old ice cream sellers of old, which you wouldn't remember, any of you. But people used to have bicycles with an ice cream box on the front of it and ice creams, and you could run out when you were a child and buy a threepenny cornet. There you are, that's a long time ago. 1.5 pence, my children, 1.5 pence for a lovely ice cream cornet, and a smile to go with it as well, because the ice cream men always had a smile when they served you, and I think that's something else that spiritualists could take a leaf out of their book. Let's all be those ice cream men and smile and give people the healing that they need. So there, I'll say God bless you, and I will I'll speak to you again at some point.
You certainly will.
I'm sure that our prayers for healing will be heard again. But please do as I say and get cracking with those healing cloths. And
absolutely.
Now,
well, in actual fact, before I read that passage on your behest, I will say that when I was but a child, I used to go to visit my great-grandmother. Yeah, it was great-grandmother. And over the road from where you live, next door to on the left of what is currently the British Legion, there was a sweet shop, and she used to take me over the road to that shop and buy me a tuppenny walls and then get me a haircut.
Wow.
There you go.
Yes, I should enlighten everybody that I am living in Nick's great-grandmother's house.
In actual fact, not only is tuppenny walls famous for me having them as a child, I do believe there's a nursery rhyme involving one, but I think I should move swiftly on to verse 12, which states, we'll start from 11 actually. And God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases parted from them. There we go.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
The hardest part is finding anything in this, because the chapter numbers are all in Roman numerals.
Right.
It's sometimes a struggle, but I can get my way around a Roman numeral. So there we are. But Lynn, thank you ever so much for coming on. And I do believe we'll be having you back a little bit later on.
Oh okay. Well, let's hope that my screen unfreezes.
Well, I've got some magic words to fix it.
What's that?
Kathy, it's over to you.
Thank you. Yes, you're coming now. And yes, thank you.
God bless you and see you soon.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Reverend Lynn. And of course, we've got lots of lovely people joining us tonight and commenting. I've been trying to get as many people up as I can along the way. I see my newest Facebook friend, Macca White, is on. Of course, we have Michael and Tony. We've already had a quick chat with the lovely young Matthew from Canada, who remains ever popular. I'll tell you all about that later, Matt. And lots of lovely new faces too. There is one person who's been commenting. Unfortunately, I don't know what your name is because it keeps calling you Facebook user. But Facebook user, you're very welcome from Australia. So lovely to meet you. Well, friends, now is the time when we ask for a reading. And here comes a certain young gentleman of great ability. And here he comes. It's Reverend Alan and his reading.
Good evening, everybody. And first of all, thank you very much for that lesson, Reverend Lynn. Forever the teacher. tonight's reading, believe it or not, is actually called Spirituality. And it is by Marcia A. Newton. Strength, awareness, comfort and awe, a connection to something greater than all. Pure song of spirit that brings hope to life and brings inner peace to the soul it enlightens. Inner strength and centering of mind and of thought, where the heart is readied and the calmness is sought, renewing the soul in harmony and bliss, when you quiet the mind and all worries cease. Inspired by the spirit of life and of love, a journey of awareness where you see the face of God. Tranquility, quiet, stillness and calm, a reflection of the sacred as a song and a psalm. Unburden oneself to be humble in heart, to be one with spirit rather than apart. Awareness in oneself, both body and in mind, and calling into existence the light of the divine. Living in peace with ourselves, God and all, a connection with God's creatures, both great and small. Illumination of spirit, of heart and of mind, seeing beyond oneself rather than blind. Transcending oneself beyond limits of mind to embrace what is good and all that is kind. Yearning so intense for the soul to be free and being the person God created us to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Absolutely, yes. And do you know the sentiment and the thought behind reading reminds me very much of Desiderata and all of the lessons that it gives. And certainly Desiderata has been quite a useful tool for me over the last years, actually. Yeah. But yours actually sounds a little bit more understandable. So I know that you will be sharing it for us online, Alan. I think that reading definitely teaches us a lesson and tells us that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to get angry and it's okay to get upset. But it's also important to carry on and fight and never give up on the things that we know we have, even if we feel that it might seem a little bit easier to do that. We all know, and you know especially, that the easy path is not always the right one.
Oh, absolutely.
And by fighting and standing and being ourselves and going forward in such a way with great peace and tranquility and spirituality, that is the definite path to take, my friend. And so, as ever, lovely, wise words, mate.
Thank you.
God bless you, my friend, and we'll see you later. We will see you later on.
Yes, okay.
See you soon. God bless, mate.
See you soon.
Wonderful. Well, are you still awake, Alison? I haven't put you to sleep yet, have I?
No.
That's all right then. Good. Because now we're going to do that very special thing of sending healing. Let me just switch the screen so I've got the video ready. Of course, the now famous video that the idea and concept I stole from Weymouth Spiritualist Church when I was down there, and now many New Christian Spiritualist Society organizations have stolen the idea too, which is brilliant. It's called sharing and passing on the good news, and I think it's wonderful, really. So we do send out our healing thoughts. Now I've got an on-screen post-it note ready. I would like to ask for healing for Bino, for Lynn. I would also like to ask for healing for Linda and Sharon and Paul and Valerie. I would also like to ask for healing for Nicola. And of course, everyone who is in need of healing at this time. Well, it says in the prayer, basically, you know, that very much mentioned around the internet at the moment prayer that I do. I actually found the first time online that I did it about 2 years ago in a memory a few weeks back. And I thought, oh, wow, that's a surprise, because someone had just been talking about it. It's Tony, I think. But it really is a wonderful prayer that was given to me to use. And that's the important thing. So we send out our thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering. We will have our silence/video and then end with the word Amen. So here we begin with that prayer as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know, those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. And Great Spirit, we add Lisa, we add Paul, we add Maka. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, now is the time in our service that everyone looks forward to. It's when I go quiet. No, I'm sure that's not true much. But we are, of course, at the part of the service that I know everyone looks forward to. And it is that evidence, that proof of survival, that Spirit are with us all the time. And I know that it is of great comfort and great upliftment to all those in need. And it is what sets us apart, truly. I mean, every religious organization has prayers, and every religious organization in some way has healing. But there are so many of us in spiritualism that know that we are isolated and alone when it comes to giving out of proof of survival. But what we are not isolated in is that contact with Spirit, and that there are many houses in the world of Spirit, and there is one particular at the center of it that is a mansion, and in that mansion there are many rooms, and there's room for all of us there. And now we're going to prove that that's where we are. And so now I'm going to hand over this service to Alison and invite our first recipient up. She has been very, very patient and very, very quiet, bless her heart. It's Julie. Are you there?
I am. Hello.
Bless you. Hello, my love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. And so now I'm going to tootle out the way and see you soon. Mwah.
Hello, Julie. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
All right. I'll just get a link for you, and we will see where we go. And straight away, I'm being made aware of a lady's energy, a lovely lady's energy, and she's given me a slight croak in my voice, and so I feel that her voice would be a little bit crackly as she spoke herself, and she's making me feel that there would be difficulties with swallowing as well at some point towards the end for her, but she's coming forward with an amazing amount of love for you. And where she's standing with me in my energy, I feel this would be on mum's side of the family, and I feel actually this would be your grandmother rather than your mother. And she's making me feel she would be quite a short lady. I'm 5 foot myself, so I know she would be taller than me, but she was a short lady anyway. And she's making me very much aware that she would be very kind of just wanted to give you a hug, or rather this lovely lady's wanted to give you a hug, and I know that it would be kind of big bear hugs, and you'd almost have to struggle to get away from them, because she'll just hold you so tightly. And she's saying at the moment that that's what she's doing right now. She wants to give you the biggest hug she possibly can, because she knows that that is much, much needed at this time. And that as she is holding you, and I know that she is doing so right now, Julie, she's just wanting you to let out all that emotion, to let out all that hurt, and to let out all those thoughts that have been welling up inside you. And she's saying that much when she was here, she would be a lady who you would feel comfortable showing your emotions to. And so she's saying you can still be comfortable with those emotions with this lady now, okay? She's kind of, I grabbed my wrist, well, not my wrist, I grabbed my hand quite tightly. And I feel that that's something that this lovely lady would do as well. She would get hold of someone quite physically and really a very, very hands-on lady. And, you know, she'd just kind of squeeze your hand, little gentle squeezes to let you know that she was there and that things were okay. Are you understanding this with this lovely lady?
I am. I never met her. She died before I was born. But I do, I do know who you mean.
All right. And you would understand she would be exactly like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's the amount of love, I'll keep saying, is the amount of love that she has for you. So I know she's obviously been aware of you throughout your whole life. And as I'm kind of linking with her energy, she's saying that there have been times when things have been quite difficult for you she's saying 3 particular occasions throughout your life. And she's saying that she has been by your side each and every single one of those times. And she's actually giving me a feeling of tenseness in my neck at the moment, but I feel that's to do with yourself rather than this lady. And she's just making me feel that she's very much aware of it. And so far this evening, we've been talking a lot about healing. So just know that your beautiful grandmother is sending you healing for this area of yourself, all right? And she's wanting to wrap it in something really warm to keep the cold out and to just allow those muscles to relax a little bit. Now, obviously, I'm not kind of here to do medical stuff, and that's not what I'm doing at all. That's merely what this lovely lady is saying to me to say to you. All right. Okay. She's making me aware that there have been people around you who have been dancing recently, because she's just been saying that she's really enjoyed watching all that going along, and she's telling me that she would love to dance herself. Now, obviously, you may have to ask about this, but I feel she loved dancing herself. But she's talking about it being quite kind of metal-y music. Sounds wrong, because I don't mean heavy metal, I mean like metal brass instruments and brass music that this lovely lady would like to listen to. And she's actually showing me a gramophone, you know, one of those old style gramophones. And so I feel there would have been one of those in the family that she would have listened to. And I don't feel it's being used now, but I feel it's still within the family somewhere. All right, something that has been kept. All right, and she's just showing me that. She's wanting to. All right, okay. With regards to herself, I do feel, and I can obviously see that you are wearing glasses, but I feel this lady wore glasses herself as well. But she's making me feel like her hair would be tied quite back, and I do feel she would have it in a bun at times. So I feel her hair was quite long, but she would put it up and out of the way purely because that was practical for her.
Okay.
And talking of being practical, she's saying that you are generally, she notices that you being, very practical in nature. Okay. And she's saying about that sense of frustration that you have, that you're not able to be as practical as you like at the moment because of circumstances. And I'm not talking about COVID, I'm talking about other circumstances that are meaning that you are unable to go about your normal practicalities. And she's saying it's driving you batty. It's driving you, the real sense of frustration there. And so she's just sending you her empathy, really, to say that she would have found it very difficult to have to sit down and have things being done around her, and be quite picky about the way things are done. And she's saying that although things are done with love and all in a very supportive way, it's still a bit niggly because it's not you doing it quite how you would do it. All right.
Yeah.
Not to say that there's any ungratefulness going on, because there isn't at all. It's just that little niggle that you have, like, well, I'll sort that out when I can, kind of feeling. And so she's very aware of that and the frustration for you. She's talking about June. She's taking me to June. And so I know that June is very important for yourself. I feel there's an important birthday in June, but June also links with this lovely lady. All right. Okay. And I don't feel her name was June, but I feel the month links with her. But I do feel that the name of an other flower links with this lady. All right. So I feel she would have had a flower name either as a middle name. I feel it would be a middle name rather than her first name. But she's making me aware of a flower name for her. And she's also giving me the a W initial, and I feel that would link with a surname within the family. Around in the family.
Yeah.
All right. She's saying there's been an awful lot of chatter around you at the minute. All right.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like literal children chattering. I feel it's different to that. There's just a lot of chatter and kind of people talking and lots of discussions going on. And in some ways you're feeling a little bit out of the loop with it all. It's like you're getting bits of it, but you're not able to put your 2 pence forward yourself. And she said, bide your time, but you will be able to, because there'll be a time that nothing else can happen until you've had your say. All right. If that makes sense. And she's just saying that when that time comes, that you are able to kind of pitch in and say what needs to be said, it's then that the situation will start to calm down properly. All right. And then you will feel that you're getting some of your I use the word control, but I don't mean it in a strong way. I mean your own personal sense of satisfaction, and that you are more in control of what's going on around you, and then that will all start to fall back into place, and then things will start to move forward for you. She's really as I say, just so full of love, and she's giving me little pinprick tears. So, and as I said before, I'm aware that you have been kind of sharing tears recently, but these particular tears I'm feeling at the moment are just pure love from this lady for you. And let's see. Right, and she's talking about a letter. I'm not sure whether it's a letter or an email, but she's talking about something that you've decided not to send. And she's saying it was right to not be sent.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. It may be the case that it does go off and does get sent, but you held back for some particular reason. She's saying that was the right thing to do at this point in time. All right, so just take reassurance from that. And just so much love from this lovely lady.
Thank you.
I hope that's been okay for you. Thank you.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Bless you, bless you. I hope that was of great help to you, my love. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Good. That's what we like to hear. In actual fact, through the magic of technology and Alison's reading, Revlin's moving downstairs again now. I can see her moving. So both your influences fluenced the screen, as my nan used to say. But I'm glad that you were able to come on, Julie. I really am. And all I can say really is God bless you, my love.
Thank you.
And do stay for the closing prayer, of course.
Definitely.
Lovely. See you soon.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, lots of love for you as well, Alison, I have to say. What wonderful evidence and delivery, and lots of lovely things to say. Now, I've just got to share this little story. You can always tell when someone's really, really in it with spirit. And we've seen that evidence, because sometimes the delivery of the message can actually, as you'd agree, I'm sure, Alison, the delivery of the message can actually be just as much evidence as anything. And when you forget that you're actually communicating with someone on the earth plane and just so into it, like you were at the beginning, you tend to forget that there's someone actually listening to what you're saying, don't you?
Sometimes
and I believe that that's evidence all of its own, because it's like, okay, so yes, by the way, you are supposed to be speaking to that person, not me. Carry, you know, and it's wonderful. It really, really is, and everyone's loving it. So I'm just loving it. Right, so it's time for another recipient, my love. Let's see if he's awake. Are you there, Reverend Alan?
Yeah, just about.
Excellent. Right, I'm out the way. See you.
Hi, Alison.
Hello. Oh, completely different energy from the lady I've just worked with. And I have a gentleman, and he's just kind of whooshed straight in, and immediately he's making me stand up really tall. And he's making me, I'm aware of him having a stick that he would bang on the floor. Not in anger or anything like that. It was just something that he would do habitually. And I feel that this is a bit of a throwback days. I want this gentleman to be linked with the military and with the army. And I feel that he would have done that when he was in the army. And he kind of carried that through the rest of his life. And it became a bit like, not so much an emotional crutch, but just like something, it was just became part of him and part of who he was. And so he would use this, whatever it was he used, just because that's what he did, and it became quite habitual for him, I feel. This gentleman has got a really, really strong energy, and he's making me feel like he would be quite broad in stature, quite a big built gentleman. Yes, and it's making my voice feel much more powerful than it normally does. So I know that he had a really good set of lungs and a really good vocal kind of projection in what he would do and how he would talk. But he's, as I'm kind of blending with his energy a little bit more, he's actually making me aware very much of his heart, and there being difficulties with his heart. And is the feeling that he's giving me is that there was how can I explain it? The feeling that he's giving, because I sense and I feel spirit, and it's kind of giving me a feeling where a slight parting somewhere in the heart. So like, how can I explain it? It's like something wasn't quite physiologically right with his heart.
I think I'm wondering there whether, I mean, I can't confirm that to be honest, but I've got stented angina.
Right.
And I have the largest stent that they actually make in the front of my heart. So I'm wondering if he's putting that on you rather than him.
Okay. All right. Because I can really, really feel it. So if you understand it in that way, then know that he's obviously very aware of your own condition then. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to make it fit.
No.
But if you understand it in that way.
It's just that I couldn't really confirm that about him.
Okay.
You know, that actual bit about him. So and with me suffering like that, I just wondered if that was what was being put on you rather than him. And I'm not saying I'm right. It probably was him.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with me, Alan.
Yeah.
Did you understand everything else that has been said about
everything else? Everything else.
All right, lovely. It's also making me aware of my legs. All right, and my legs have gone quite well. They're feeling like they've gone really quite strange and a bit spongy. So hopefully you will understand that feeling with this gentleman. I do. And so I know that standing up him and bearing his own weight later on in his life was a real issue, and in fact he just couldn't do it. So I do feel he became bedbound for quite some time, or if not bedbound, at least chairbound for quite some time. But he's saying it was all right up here. It was just kind of the rest of his body that slowly started to fall apart, as he's putting it. But I know he kept his good humour all the way through. And I do feel he would not make light of his situation or his health, but he wouldn't let it get in the way of him enjoying his life.
No, that's right.
And he's talking about camaraderie and having really strong friendships and people being really important to him. And I do feel he was a real people person. And he's telling me at the moment that half of them are up in spirit with him, and he's saying he's still having those great big gatherings that he used to have down here. He's now having them up there again.
That would be him, yeah.
And he's talking about things having been much quieter for yourself recently, and in some ways that's been a bit of a relief for you. All right, a bit of peace and quiet. All right, away from all the hurly-burly and kind of everything. You've just been able to enjoy time and peace in the way that you enjoy to do so. But he's saying that okay, he's saying that in some ways that will change. Okay, and I feel the next couple of weeks he's saying things will start to get busier again for you. All right, so enjoy this rest time while you have it. He's saying. All right. What's he doing? He's referring to, I would understand that you have his watch, because he's referring to, he's making me look at my watch, but, well, I'm not wearing a watch, but he's making me look as though I've got a watch.
I know where that is.
Okay, but would you understand he would wear it on the inside rather than the outside?
That's right, like that.
Because
if you ask him the time, he would go like that as opposed to like that.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the watch and it's on the inside rather than the outside.
Yeah, that's right. He would wear it like that.
Thank you. All right, and it's just
like
all
that.
right. Yes, and it's showing it as being quite a big face as well.
Yes,
and he's all right. He's just put a great big cardigan around me. And it's like, you know, those kind of argyle patterns.
That's right, yes.
But it's kind of a dark green one, and with those like faux leather buttons that go up the top. And so I feel that was his favourite, and he really loved it. And in fact, he's saying he couldn't abide being cold. He always had to have the fire on. He always had to have this cardigan on, or a big jumper or something to keep him warm.
Absolutely.
And he's listen, and excuse me, and he's saying it wasn't much different in summer. It's like he would keep the same clothes pretty much throughout the year, because he just liked them, and he just needed the warmth, really.
Yes.
Now, I know that I've just given a message to Julie before yourself, but this gentleman is talking about a Julie as well. Would you understand a Julie that this gentleman would know? Because he's giving me that name again.
Not offhand, but okay. You know, that's not to say I won't find it later. Okay. You know, because there's quite a few people around that circle that I sort of only briefly knew. So I just can't recall it at the moment.
Okay. I've just kind of checked back with him, and the feeling that he's giving me it would be kind of extended family. That you get together on kind of certain family.
Okay,
events.
I've got it. I know where Julie fits.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Because he just said to mention Julie to you. All right. Yeah. Right. He was a very get up and go gentleman, wasn't he?
Yes, he
was. Because he's just really wanting to. He's like he wants me to take me off walking now, and I know that he's being out in the countryside and out in the hills, and so I know Lincolnshire's quite flat, obviously, and kind of where Littleport is quite flat, but I feel that he would be where there are hills, because he loved the hills.
Yes, he did. I mean, he actually lived in the Fenlands, but he did. Whenever he could, he was off to like the Dales and the Lake District, where it's quite hilly. You know, he loved that sort of Derbyshire and sort of beyond.
All right, because I was just aware of him putting a backpack on me and having that stick again.
Yeah, very much so.
Going up for a right old march up the hill.
In actual fact, Yeah, I actually believe, if memory serves me correct, that he was actually in like a Ramblers Club.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so yes, that all fits very well.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, lovely gentleman. As I say, a real sense of humour with him as well,
Yeah.
and a bit of a practical joker coming in as well. And he's saying that you have a little bit of that too. And if there's any opportunity to make people think twice about something, you will. And he's just a lovely gentleman, and he just really wanted to have this time with you.
Yeah, that's lovely.
So I hope it's been okay, and bring forward those memories for you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. You all right then, Alan?
Well, you know, up and down, Nick. That's all I'll say at the moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's raw, and you know, I will get through.
Yes, because you've got all of us with you, mate.
Absolutely, I've got some fantastic people around me, you know, and yeah, it's just got to keep looking forward.
Yes, definitely have, mate. Well, we will see you soon, mate, and you'll be back up for the closing prayer, I am sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Take care. God bless.
Okay, and you, and thank you, Alison.
Thank you, bless you.
Bless you. Oh, now everyone's having technical difficulties tonight. We've had some judders, we've had some freezes, we've had a screen go blank and lost comments, but do not worry, we will be all right. And so our final reading for the evening is due any second, but of course that means it's time for something else. It's of course time to welcome forward technically 2 people, but it always ends up being 4, because now it is time for Henry, Samantha, and it's of course Hannah and Bully. What time is it? Bully's special prize. How are you, my lovely? Good. Now, we really ought to explain to anyone watching for the first time, I know there are some, what it is we've just actually done there. No, we haven't suddenly become worshippers of plastic cows. We haven't gone backwards in time. It is a tradition in Littleport when we had the raffle at the end of the service. When we had a raffle, the final prize was always Bully's special prize, as in bullseye. And of course I was away one week, and then Hannah kindly took over the Bully special prize bit. And of course I never got the job back. So then Bully actually moved all the way from Yorkshire TV to live with Hannah so that he can actually enhance Bully's special prize. And so there we are. It is, of course, Bully's special prize time, because we raffle off the readings. So we don't give out pound strips every week and give people their messages, their prizes, like jars of jam and some flowers and some jigsaw puzzles. We give out the raffle of readings. So there we are. It is always a pleasure to have Bully's special prize reenacted live across the airwaves. So thank you, you lovely people, and we'll see you at the end. God bless, darlings. So for those that didn't know, that's the explanation. So see, Macca, bless him, he didn't know. Where is it? Oh my God, what's that for? Oh, this is brilliant. Made my night to see that. So you see, we do our bit for the upliftment of the universe. And of course, now it is, of course, that Bully special prize. This week going to Reverend Lynn. in full Technicolor and motion. So I'm out of the way while it lasts.
Oh dear, oh dear. Hello, Alison.
Hello, how are you? Oh, right, okay. I just have this overwhelming sense of peace with me. And this peace comes from a beautiful lady. And she is just really gentle. She's really kindly, but she's also very, very strong. And she's saying that you get your strength from her. And she's really oh, great, okay. I know that October would link with her, and because she's taking me back to October, and she's wanting to talk about when she was having difficulties with her health, and that you were looking after her. And I know we've had lots of talk about healing this evening, but she's saying you were kind of instrumental in getting her not only healing, but also the care that she needed on a physical level as well, if you would understand that. And she's wanting to say, well, obviously she wants to say thank you. And I know that she did thank you in life, but she's wanted to say thank you again in this moment. And for the, all right, okay. She's saying that you were like sisters, all right? I don't
yeah, she would. Yes, she used to try and say that we were sisters sometimes.
Because
she was young.
She's just saying we were like sisters, but sisters who got on, yeah, rather than sisters who didn't. And so she's just coming forward with that lovely, lovely energy, and she's making me within myself physically at the moment. She's giving me some difficulty also within like the core of my body there, and she's kind of making it feel quite tight and quite taut and quite uncomfortable. And I know that was with this lady and the condition that she had. And she's saying that towards the end it kind of went to different places, let's say, and so it kind of it was her way of looking at it, I feel, because she's saying it like took some of the impetus of that bit because it went everywhere, so it was kind of less uncomfortable there because it paled, if that makes sense. And she just wanted to say, and everyone I would imagine on this call knows that she's absolutely free of that now. But she's talking about there was some kind of concern as to how she felt at the end physically, and she's saying she felt okay, she felt fine, she was calm, she was relaxed, and she was just able to kind of slip away. But there were some people who wondered whether, and I feel it was to do with the medication, whether that was the right one and doing its job. And she's saying it was doing its job perfectly well. Thank you very much. She's wanting to also, all right. She's bringing in like flute music. I'm wanting to play the flute, all right? And if it's not the flute, it's some kind of instrument a bit like that. It's like I'm hearing that music, but I'm also wanting to play as well. And as I'm tone deaf, so I would never. But she's just making me feel like she's playing. She wants to play, and she's making me do the playing for her, if that makes sense. And but I feel there would be a piece of music that especially reminds you of this lovely lady, all right? And that's why she's giving me that to do. I don't know what the music is, but I know it's a flute or a fluttery kind of music. It's the kind of music that you would I would imagine like I know you mentioned fairies earlier, but that kind of twinkly kind of really light, lovely music, really kind of joyful.
Thank you.
And she's wanting to bring more joy around you for yourself at this point in time. And
thank you.
She's just really, really lovely. But she's just kind of giving me a feeling of solidarity with you. And
thank
it's a bit
you.
like she's just kind of saying that together you were really solid. All right. That's how she's and so you took strength, you gave strength and took strength from each other. All right. and
Yeah.
very much in tune with each other in many different areas of life. And she's
Yeah.
just lovely lady. She's
Thank you.
also she's talking about hats, and I feel you would have competitions about hats. Who had the best hat?
No, but I know exactly what she means.
All right, because I feel like she's put a hat on me, but she's wanted to twist it around to get it the right way so that it fits right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the hat that she was giving me, if this makes any difference, was green. It was a green hat, quite a pale green. All right.
Okay, thank you. That colour is very significant with her.
All right, lovely. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, how can I put this? I feel like she was the musical one, and you were not, say, the musical one. If that makes sense, and I don't mean that disrespectfully anyway.
No.
But she's talking about one of you being quite musical and the other not being musical. I'm not quite sure what she's doing. Right?
No, I'm sure she's talking about being musical, but I don't think she means that we were not the same in that way. But I understand about the musical stuff very much.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right. Right, she's giving me, it sounds really silly, she's giving me the name Pierce, which is obviously quite a different name. But she just gave me the name Pierce as being of either significance or importance to her, I feel. And
okay,
I feel
that, I'll have a think about that one.
Okay.
Of course.
But I feel that comes in some way with links with France in some way. I'm just kind of feeling France with this lady.
France, did you say?
Oh,
France. Yes, I can take France. Yes.
All right, thank you. Because she's just kind of bringing that. I can kind of see France just here. All right, and she's really okay. She's talking about boats and enjoying time on river boats. All right, and it's like she's just,
that ties up to the France thing as well.
Okay, she's just making me feel like she just kind of sat down and she's just I feel she's on the deck chair on a deck or something on a little boat, and she's just enjoying the scenery as it goes by, and enjoying being waited on as well. She's making me feel like she's enjoying being waited on.
Yes.
All right, and she's drawing I've got some writing in front of me, and she's drawing my attention to that, and I know that there would have been communication between the two of you in letters for part of the time.
Yes.
She's saying that was very important to both of you to keep that connection strong at the times when you couldn't be together.
Yeah.
And she's also making me aware of a poem that was read at her funeral that was written by yourself.
Yeah.
And
I sort of took her funeral along with my sister and brother.
Right, okay. Because she just showed me like a nicely written poem that I know that was kind of from you for her, and and she's making me feel that there was a kind of a time where she planned kind of what she wanted at the end. And
yes. She planned her own funeral.
So it was all exactly what she wanted. So but she's saying that the poem was a bit of a surprise. She didn't know she knew there would be one, but she didn't know the content. And I feel it was kind of to do with her life, rather than it being a poem not about her life, but for her.
Yeah, I did talk about her life, yeah.
She just said it's lovely. It was lovely. And all right. Now, I know you said that green is significant for this lady, but she's also bringing in orange, an orange butterfly, all right? And when I work with colour with spirit, there's always kind of a meaning for it. And the orange, I feel, is for yourself, for that upliftment, but also some extra strength as well at this point in time for you personally. So I hope that's been able for you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And the thing about the green thing is a sort of thread, literally, because before she actually passed to spirit, I was with her for a few weeks before that. We were very close. Mm-hmm. And my dad, who'd gone a couple of years before her, I remember not all of the message that he gave me to give to her, but one of the things that he asked me to tell her was about green curtains or something. And she said, I don't know why he talked about green, because I'd never liked it.
Oh.
And so you see, it, because of that, I remembered the colour green, because she, I was warbling on as you do, telling her about this message. And I said, oh, yes, and he wants to give you the colour green. And she said, oh, I don't know why he wants to say that, because I never liked green. And I thought, well, all right, I'm sorry about that. But you've just told me she's given me the colour green.
Brilliant.
So she obviously got over her annoyance over the green. But I do remember it, and she knows I would remember that. So that is a really good code, if you like, to give me that message.
Oh,
and the whole message was very evidential. Thank you so much. I did not expect to hear from my mother, but I certainly have done now. And she has given me the strength that I need, really, to sort of carry on regardless, because things haven't been so good for me as they haven't been for many people. But I managed to fall over yesterday.
Oh, no.
And I went down with such a crash, but it was wonderful. Them upstairs were definitely helping me, because although I got thinning bones and all the rest of it, nothing was broken or fractured. And I managed to pull myself together, and here I am chatting away. So thank you so much, Alison. That was a lovely, lovely message, lovely communication. And it was so sweet of you to give me that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Well, I have to say, normally at this point, I'll bring Reverend Lynn up to give some final thoughts. So for once, I'm actually going to have.
I'm here.
Well, there you go.
Oh yes, I can't wait.
Absolutely. So I'm going to throw in a bit of a final thought, just to give her a chance to change seats, and then exactly. So. There's been a lot of strange internet connections, and I know everyone's been feeling very down lately. There's something that has kept me going over the last few weeks, and something that's always been of great help and support to me. And that's other than, of course, spirit, because spirit has been the main thing. Spirit is what's kept me going. Now, I know those that know me quite personally, we've had the conversations. Yes, there has been a lot of annoyance and upset and disappointment in the initial stages, but that is human nature and that is natural. But spirit are always there for us. And, when I think back a few weeks before Dad passed away, my granddad's favourite hymn we played, a favourite song rather, My Forever Friend. And it says about, sometimes I'm not always their friend, but they're always mine. And they understand that being upset is perfectly natural and perfectly human. And although, and quite rightly, Lynn pointed out that we have that wonderful upliftment as spiritualists, that we know that those that have gone before us are with us, we still miss that physical. And that's what people really don't understand about spiritualists. They think that we don't care. We really, really do. We care enough to learn how to communicate with them that's gone before. But these words that I will share with you now really do make sense of it all for me. And I hope they will help somebody, at least in the congregation or watching in the future. And that is this. we are all the sum of our tears. Too many, and the best of us have washed away. Too few, and the ground becomes infertile, and nothing can grow. When it comes to our tears, we must recognize that they are there for a reason, and that they are allowed. They are allowed, and spirits see them. And we were talking about the snow a few weeks ago, in actual fact, and somebody said to me that when it rains, it's God trying to wash away the pain, but when it snows, it's God knowing that he needs to be a little bit more gentle with that. So I hope that is of benefit to others. And of course, now I can say, Alison, thank you for a wonderfully inspiring demonstration of mediumship. As ever, great evidence and proof. And of course, we don't need to hear that just from me. It's over to Reverend Lynn.
Well, I think, Alison, that, you have demonstrated to us that demonstrating mediumship is of the essence. Yes. And it's just wonderful to be able to be part of a service where the mediumship is of such a high standard, and it's just so lovely for people to be able to understand for themselves that while they see other people get communications from their loved ones in spirit, that it must mean that their loved ones in spirit are also able to see over them, to care for them still, and to be living on in a situation which is far more blissful than the one that they left behind them when they did go eventually. And I think that you've done a great job for all of us, Alison, really, tonight. And I know that everybody who has been part of this now and who will be part, because of course these services now are available ad infinitum, literally into eternity. Just think, in 100 years' time, people will be able to access this service and hear things in that service which will be relevant to them.
Yes.
There you are. You see, those things that were said hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago, like that passage that Reverend Nick read from the Bible that was written, maybe nearly 2,000 years ago, it was absolutely relevant to us tonight, and it will be still relevant in hundreds of years' time. And I think that it's a wonderful job that you're all doing. And now, talking about finding things, and just to leave you with these thoughts, people are struggling, I know. And I was given a gift of this very battered old Bible, which I'll show you. It was given to me as a present, and it's really bashed and battered and very, very old. There's no date on it, but there was some little cards marking various passages in it. So its previous owner had been very careful and had read the Bible. And there was this wonderful marker, and it says this, and we're talking about how, things are relevant throughout eternity. And this one was printed many, many, many years ago. And it's called Lonely, No Not Lonely. And it says, lonely, no not lonely, while Jesus standeth by. His presence fills my chamber. I know that he is nigh. Helpless, yes, so helpless, but I am leaning hard on the mighty arm of Jesus, and he is keeping guard. Happy? Yes, so happy. With joy too deep for words, a precious, sure foundation, a joy that is my Lord's. There you are, and that's somebody who put that in their Bible to mark their place many, many, many years ago. I don't know if you can see it, but it's sort of very, very, very ancient, and I would think it's sort of 19th century. It's a 19th century Bible with, it's lovely. But there you are, you see. So that person who put that little card into their Bible all those years ago, hundreds, maybe 200 years ago, actually has helped us all tonight. So there. Just a thought, because I was thinking there's so much sadness and we have to find some joy, and I think that's what you guys have been doing tonight. So God bless you for that. I'll let you put me away from the main screen now.
Well, you'll be back in a minute anyway for the closing prayer, but we'll see you in a minute. Just gives the computer a chance to make sure you don't freeze. God bless you, darling. Mwah. Oh, wow, wonderful. So again, and from all of us in the comments, everyone watching, Alison, thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful demonstration, as always. And I know that you're going to be hanging around afterwards because we need the chat. And I'm looking forward to that one. Well, friends, just a quick notice. Nick's getting organised. Next week's medium is Sue Breen, and I already have the list ready for recipients. I've been doing the raffle and I've got 2 picked out. I've just got 1 more to pick out, which will of course be the special prize from Hannah. So I just want to thank everyone watching now and in the future for being part of this service. We've been going now 11 months online, believe it or not. There are, as Lynn mentioned, all of the previous services are in my Facebook albums under video, but just to make things a little bit more organized, so far we've got the last 9 months available on my YouTube channel. There's a link on my Facebook page for that as well, if you want to go back and have a look. I'm back as far as about April, I think, the end of April on YouTube. So it's wonderful for the support that everyone has made to this way of life, and certainly to this church. The support is unending, and we are deeply grateful for everyone. And of course, we're deeply grateful for you, Alison, for coming on tonight and proving life is indeed eternal. So let's have everyone back up to have our closing prayer, as always. Let me do some muting though, because the background noise gets a little bit. There we go. Everyone can hear us all now. So let's join together as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, and to be able to spread the word and the truth that life is indeed eternal. We ask for your healing rays to shine on each person here present, all those watching at home and all those that will watch at home. And of course, as ever, all those that do not know we are here, we ask for them too. And we ask that you give us the strength, dear Lord, to climb the mountain. We do not ask you to move it. So until we meet again, may your love and your light shine on each person in this world, in a wonderful web of love and hope and upliftment. Amen. Well, friends, I will now unmute because I'm sure everyone will want to yell out their good nights. It has, of course, been a pleasure welcome you all here to Chateau Dilnick. But until next week, it's good night. God bless. And may the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. Now,
good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. People.
you.